Welcome to Closers, brought to you by Man Cave Sports. I am the DA. Hey, make sure you guys hit the like button. Send us comments. Let us know what you're thinking about these shows. How you liking the format, man? It looks beautiful, right? Let us know. It helps algorithm. Helps us get us out to you. Get us out to people who, that are like you that want to check it out. But let's get started with the show. As with me, as always, my man, the myth, the legend, James Koulianos.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, James? What's up, man?
No, hi, Dr. Nick.
You're not Dr. Nick.
Oh,
and I'm not going to play into your games.
All right, fair enough.
Speaking of games, the playoffs are in full swing right now. Oh my God, James, you're on cloud nine. All the Mets fans, cloud nine. Seinfeld's on cloud nine. The Mets have done it. The Mets have beat the Phillies to move to the NLCS. Lindor, the man, dude, Lindor. How about the month he is having? How about the playoffs he is having? You see him right here hitting the grand slam to take the lead in the bottom of the sixth. This dude, I'm sorry, he is coming up so big. And like his team, look at his team, Kodai Senga. Look at that. This is so funny. That clip is meme. That is about to become the biggest meme in baseball history.
It's wonderful. I couldn't be happier right now. I did not expect them to beat the Phillies. And I'll tell you, I was really worried yesterday. In the first couple innings, when they had some guys on base, they didn't drive them in. I'm like, uh-oh, this is going to be a problem. I hope the bats don't shut down now. Because you know who was coming game 5? Zach Wheeler would have been there game 5. And that would have been a big problem for the New York Mets.
Was it Wheeler?
It would have been Wheeler, yeah.
Wheeler, game 5 in Philly. I don't know. And like Bryce Harper just would probably be doing Bryce Harper things. I don't think the Mets would have survived out of that game.
No, I don't think so either. But thank God they have Francisco Lindor, who, unlike the other MVP candidate in New York, is actually coming up big and carrying the team and earning his paycheck.
It is absolutely incredible what he is doing. Lindor is just dominating baseball right now, dominating the Mets, dominating every team that they've played so far, from the Braves to the Brewers to the Phillies. And it just keeps coming up in big situations. That's a thing too, is these guys keep coming up in those huge situations, and then you see them come through. And Lindor is the man. The man that right now he is doing it all. Like, he is absolutely what they paid for, and this is what you're seeing is the guy that the Indians saw when he was on the Indians, and this is why they paid him that money.
Absolutely. And we talked about it when they signed him. You know, we said, oh, that's, they're overpaying for Lindor because they desperately need a face to that franchise. And he came in and he just said, screw it. I'm going to put you guys on my back and I'm going to take you to the World Series because, oh my God, we can do it.
I mean, he's maturing before our eyes. He was obviously an incredible player before the Mets signed him. Everybody, this was a great signing for the Mets. What we said, he started to struggle a little bit. He just wasn't quite owning it, wasn't quite grabbing it and just running away with it. And now you're seeing it. Now we're seeing this player. We're all blown away by what he's doing. But again, this is what we kind of expected when he signed. This is what we've been expecting, and I think it's that little lull has brought us like into this place where we really love him so much because of that lull.
Yeah. But I got to be honest with you. I'm looking at what's going on with baseball right now, and I'm super happy as a Met fan, but I'm I don't like this playoff format. A team that has been good all year, and then they've got to sit around and wait to play, and most of the time they get knocked out. This is going to be a problem going forward.
It's a problem. At the same time, I think the problem is more on the team's ability to prepare and stay ready. I don't want to blame the format. I want to blame the team. Who is it? The Astros. Until this year, this year they struggled. They lost in the wild card round.
Yeah.
But they had actually done a very good job in the past of being the team who rested and got better. What we're seeing is a problem with that. And I don't know if that's a matter of these teams using starting pitching less, relievers more, and we're seeing this lull in the pitching because these guys and the relievers are used to pitching every single day, every other day, so much, where starters are used to having the rest and used to preparing for that. When you use starters less, relievers more, you kind of get into this weird funky area. But I don't want to blame it on the schedule. I want to blame it on these teams' preparedness to be ready for this schedule, because the Astros in the past like 10 years, whatever it is, have had zero issues, like no issues. Why aren't we doing that? Why are we blaming everybody else, blaming the system? But the Astros, you don't ever hear a word from the Astros in the past on them blaming the system.
Because the Astros are cheaters and they knew a way to get past it. They just bang on a garbage can.
You sound like my wife with the conspiracy theories. Just like the Astros are cheaters, but not necessarily cheaters on the couple days off. But
they give them extra time to cheat. And
but
you know that I cost you less than your wife.
Right. So at the same time, the team across the bridge, because Queens is on Staten, or is on Long Island, which is an island.
Here we go.
And if you go across the bridge into the Bronx, across the bridge from an island to another part of land, you go to Yankee Stadium, where the Yankees are starting to take care of the Royals. It was a close game. It is a battle for the Yankees Royals series. The Yankees are stepping up a little bit. Got another game tonight, right?
Yeah. Some of the Yankees are stepping up. Not everybody.
Some of the Yankees are stepping up. I said a little bit.
A little bit. By the way, you want to hear something crazy?
No.
Okay, forget it then. Giancarlo Stanton stole a base last night. Do you know the last time he had a stolen base?
Ooh, was his name was Michael?
It wasn't Mike. It was 2020.
No.
Yeah.
That's a first stolen base since 2020.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. That's what I heard last night on the radio cast.
This
Susan
dude
Waldman was saying it.
All world. Like, he could do everything. He was stealing bases like it was no problem either. Like, it wasn't like he was out there trying to go 40-40, but he could steal a base no problem. And it's amazing how quickly, like knee problems and stuff like that will change a man.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've got to talk a little bit about Juan Soto and Aaron Judge here. I mean, Aaron Judge is getting a lot of grief because he's hitting 091 for the series, hasn't done anything. But, Juan Soto hasn't been great either. Yes, he's hitting 300 in the series. However, let's not forget, he's got 1 RBI. He doesn't have a single home run. I mean, you're talking about a guy who expects to get $500-600 million next year. Can you carry the team a little bit? Can you show that you are the guy? Because I'm getting a little pissed off.
What I'm seeing is Aaron Judge not being, maybe trying too hard. Soto's doing fine. Soto's doing great, but you're seeing like guys like Fernando Tatis. You're seeing Bryce Harper had a great series when for what it was. Alonso having a great series. You're seeing Lindor. You're seeing Bobby Witt Jr. doing well. Not crazy like just like through the world and stuff like that. But you're seeing some of these stars step up, and you're just not seeing like the guy who had the superstar in all of baseball. You've seen like Bobby Witt just doing great, at times, but like he's doing better than Aaron Judge, and Bobby Witt still hasn't done as well as he should be doing. And so it's a really interesting dynamic here in this series where the guy who might have had one of the best offensive seasons all time, if it wasn't for Ohtani, and even with Ohtani, he probably had one of the best offensive seasons of all time. And in just numbers wise, it just struggles so much. What do you think it is? Do you think he's adding the pressure, or do you think it's the pitching, or do you think it's him in the playoffs? Because when have we really seen Aaron Judge just dominate a playoff series?
It's so funny that you mentioned that, because I was just about to ask you, are the pitchers, going after Judge? Are they going after Soto? Are they going after Ohtani in a different way? Basically saying, okay, I'm going to nibble at the corners. If I walk you, I walk you. I'm not going to give you any chance to beat me. Or are they putting too much pressure on themselves? You tell me, you're the player.
I think when Judge's standpoint, he's putting so much pressure on himself, trying so hard in every situation to come through, to be the man, to take it on his back, to where Stanton is doing great, almost 1,000 OPS, Soto almost 830 OPS, 300 batting average. These guys are stepping up right now because I think they're going into it and saying, I don't have to be the man. I just do my job. Where Judge thinks everything is his job, and that's I think where Judge throws it on his shoulders. And at the same time, the pitchers are pitching every at bat like it's life or death, and so that's really tough for big power hitters. Life or death situations are tough for those guys. They take advantage of those situations where guys can't pitch around them, and they have to throw them strikes. So right now, he's in some tough at bats and stuff like that. Same thing. Same thing. Otani's. We haven't really seen Otani's stepping up huge yet in this series. We're seeing Mookie Betts do great. And we're seeing that offense kind of like struggle a little bit at times because Otani hasn't really hit his stride yet. Betts is doing great. Freddie Freeman's out. Has been out for a game, and so it's an interesting dynamic with Otani too. Do you think that's the same problem with him?
I think they're avoiding him. Okay, against Yu Darvish owns Otani. He's one of the few guys who does really well against him. And then in the other games, I was looking. Some of the called strikes that he's had have been a little bit off the plate. I think they've widened the zone a little bit on him. I don't think they're attacking him. I think they're saying, let everybody else beat us. We're not going to let Otani have 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases against us. Let's take our chances against, Muncie's of the world.
Right, and Muncie's stepping up.
What
do you think of that Dodgers-Padres series right now, man? There's so much to take in on this. There's so much of Tatis being the heel, in baseball, trying to be that guy everybody hates. Manny Machado kind of having a little moment where you let his anger, frustration come out, but again, kind of you see maturity-wise, you see Profar going all over the place. You're seeing Dodger fans losing their mind, Padre fans starting to lose their mind. The Dodgers come back and win Game 3. Or Game 4, sorry. So now the series is tied 2-2 going into Dodger Stadium. How exciting of a series is this?
It's fantastic. And what the Dodgers did with their pitching staff, what was it, 8 different pitchers because they didn't have anybody to start the game. I am praying that the Dodgers win this series because I do not want to see the Padres by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I think right now the Dodgers are a more beatable team. I think at the end of the day, you avoid that top heavy part of the lineup, Betts, Freeman, Otani. If you can get through them, you can make it work, right? It's don't let those guys hurt you, and then it's a matter of if you can get to one of their starters. Yeah, I think you're in a lot better position. I mean, it's not, that's the thing. If they were able to get through Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, they can almost get through anybody. But the Padres, man, with Cease and what Yu Darvish has been doing right now, Yu Darvish starting Game 5 for them. Dodgers don't have announced a starter yet, which is absolutely crazy that you don't have a starter for Game 5. You didn't have a starter for Game 4. And the Dodgers have an entire all-star lineup sitting on the IL in their starting rotation, which not says that's where we're at with the best team in baseball as far as a record. Right, this is where we're at, is that they don't even have a starter for Game 4 or 5, and that's the crazy thing about the Dodgers, that they're able to even be in this position.
I'm rooting for the Dodgers and I'm rooting for the Yankees. I would love to get through the Dodgers, exercise those demons, and then go smack the Yankees around a little bit.
You just said you're rooting for the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Yeah, so that's what I want to see.
To go to the World Series.
I want the Dodgers to play in the NLCS and then the Yankees in the World Series.
Do the Mets beat the Padres?
No, I don't think so.
So do the Mets beat the Dodgers?
I believe they do.
Do the Mets beat the Yankees?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Do the Mets beat the Guardians or Detroit?
Detroit scares me a little more than the Guardians, but I think they're both beatable.
Think they're both beatable?
I think everybody who's remaining is beatable. And if there's one team that I'm worried about the most, it's the Padres. But there's nobody that I say is an easy out, and I don't think there's anybody who's a lock.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the Padres lineup right now. There's not a whole lot of easy outs. The Dodgers You do have some guys in that lineup. Some guys obviously stepped up. I mean, they beat them 8-0 against Dylan Cease. That's never easy to do. But you got a great rotation. You got a good pen. You have a lineup 1 through 9 that is very difficult. Right now, I do think the Padres are the best overall team in this. Moving forward, at the same time, Detroit's doing well. Again, this is crazy that the Detroit and the Guardians and Cleveland series, every game's been a shutout. So it's been 3 games so far. Every game has been a shutout. More
importantly, hold on a second. For my own greed, if the Mets make it to the World Series and they play the Yankees or the Guardians, you played for those 3 teams. Can you make a call? Can you get me a World Series ticket, brother?
No, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I can make a call and get you a World Series ticket. It's going to cost us some money.
I don't care about that. I just want to go. I want to be able to get a ticket.
You can get a ticket.
But I'm not talking about crazy resale value. I'm talking from the team.
No, I'm not on those levels, brother. I wish I was. Mariners, we might be able to talk. Giants, maybe talk.
The Mariners, I don't need you.
Yeah.
What the hell do I need you with the Mariners?
Well, that's your problem. Don't call me, man. Call your boy Keith Hernandez.
I loathe Keith Hernandez.
But so this is exciting playoffs. I think the Tigers are an exciting team too. They're a team that where no one's really talking about this Guardians Tigers series. It's been a great series, but don't overlook the Tigers. Don't overlook the Guardians by any means. Those are both really good teams, and right now the Tigers are playing incredible baseball. Got beat 7-0 game 1, then they won 3-0 one game, and then won game 3-0 going into game 4 tonight. So that's gonna be really interesting. Again, don't knock out Detroit. But there is a team that is out of the playoffs, didn't even make the playoffs, and we can knock out their stadium. It's probably going to get renoed anyways. Tampa Bay, obviously Hurricane Milton came right through Tampa Bay, just south of Tampa Bay, and you're looking at it right there. Tropicana Field, the greatest baseball field stadium that has ever been built, has absolutely been demolished by Hurricane Milton. This is absolutely sucks, by the way. Everything, the hurricane coming through, devastating. And all joking aside, they had the whole stadium, and you can see it. You can see, if you're looking at the picture, you can see how all the rows are. It looked like the field's all kind of weird. Those are actually a lot of beds and stuff set up for people for evacuation purposes or people that needed help. The whole stadium was set up to help people for the hurricane, and it was absolutely destroyed. Luckily, from what I've heard, is no one got hurt. No one got hurt in the stadium itself, and no one was out there when this all happened. We've got video from outside, drones from inside, drones in the people, cameras and inside the stadium. Wait,
hold on a second. You first of all, they put beds over there so people could have a roof over their head. There's no roof anymore. And you're saying that there was nobody in the stadium. There's nobody in the stadium ever, not even if the team plays. So, nothing gained, nothing lost.
Well, yeah.
There's going to be more people in that stadium fixing it than when the Rays are actually playing.
That's a great point. That is absolutely probably true. And I don't know, though. Here's a question. Do you fix Tropicana Field? So this year in July, the city of St. Petersburg, and I guess this is called the gas something district or oil district or something. I forgot the name. I apologize to my St. Petersburg friends. But the whole area has a little nickname for down there, kind of like San Diego Gasoline District. There's something about that. So it's kind of a cool little area. I actually really like the stadium personally. I always enjoyed it. I understand why it's very unlikable, but I kind of liked it. It felt cozy to me. Felt small and kind of enclosed, and I kind of liked it. But they approved this year in July to build a brand new stadium just off of the Tropicana Field, just next door to it. They're going to build museum and library and hotel and residential living and stuff like that. And so that wasn't all planned until 2028 that was going to be finished. Do the Rays start right now, or do they try to rebuild or put a roof back on Tropicana Field? Because we got some problems here. One, you're going to totally blow out the stadium anyways in a couple of years. The new stadium is not built yet. but it's going to cost a lot of money to get Tropicana Field back up and running. So do you move it to one of the spring training facilities right nearby? The Yankees have a massive stadium that actually would fit every one of the Rays fans that already have the 13,000. It would probably be able to fit that. I don't know the exact numbers, but it would actually be able to fit all the fans. The Blue Jays just did a big, huge renovation to their spring training facility, which is just up the road. 20 minutes away. Beautiful facility up there in Jupiter. Not Jupiter. Oh my God, same Jupiter, Florida. I am absolutely messed up. Destin. Oh my God, not Destin. Dude, what am I talking? I'm all over the place.
I think it's Dunedin.
You said it. Dunedin. You can go to the Rays facility, which is down south, or Atlanta's facility was down south, but the Rays facility down south probably got hit as well. The Orioles facility is not that far away. All these teams do have a Florida State team, though, too. So you have an issue with Florida State teams. Do you move the team up to Montreal, which was already in consideration, splitting time between Montreal and Tampa? Or do you go to split time between Montreal, Tampa, Miami? Do you go down to Puerto Rico a little bit? James, what are your predictions?
My prediction is that they're going to move the team to Raymond James Stadium, where the Buccaneers play. It's a bigger stadium. You can.
It's not built for baseball purposes. Like Mile High Stadium back in the day, you could actually take stands out. They're not built like that.
Yeah, but Oakland Coliseum wasn't built like that when they. Was it?
It was a baseball stadium that converted to a football stadium.
Well, we've seen them convert football stadiums to baseball stadiums before.
Like what? When?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Didn't San Francisco play in a football stadium for a little while?
When it's a bowl, though, that's different. That's because it was built for dual purpose, and I believe the Giants were there first.
I think the city is going to do it so that it's as cheap as possible. They're not going to fix the Trop. There's no chance.
That's a different stadium. That's a different city. That's the thing that's weird about that whole area. St. Petersburg, totally different city than where Raymond James is.
Yes, I understand that, but it's close enough. It's in a major stadium. You have major facilities. You want the Yankees coming in and it being in the locker room at the Dunedin.
Yeah, but that's the beautiful part. Where Raymond James is literally across the street is the Yankees stadium.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
They share a parking lot.
But you're talking, it's 13,000 fans.
You get what's the average fans for Tampa Bay? 13, 14. Remember, the stadium had 45,000, but they closed off the top thing, so they only max capacity was 30 something.
I think they'll figure out a way to put it in Raymond James. That's just my thought. But would I love to see them go to Montreal and Puerto Rico and split the time? Oh my God, that would be the best.
So I think what they would do, and this is for me, for my money. If you don't do the spring training idea, I actually think that's number one, because 20 minutes away is the Blue Jays spring training facility is gorgeous. The Yankees spring training facility needs upgrades and stuff like that, but it's big and you can do it, and you're still getting the fan base. Those are my number one and number two ideas are that they can maybe do something there, especially the Blue Jays facility, because it's right there. Or the Phillies facility is closer by 10 minutes maybe.
Screw them.
But it's not quite as nice. That needs to be a little bit more upgraded. You can do stuff there though. But I think they
wants to be affiliated with Philly anyway.
Puerto Rico, Miami. I think they figure out something and you only need to do it now because you can kickstart this. You only need to do something for about 2 years. You can figure it's better than doing it in Sacramento with the A's, where they already don't want the team. They're gonna have, that's not gonna be a pretty scene for a couple of years. They don't want the team there, so it's gonna be kind of ugly. And there's times when at least when the A's are good, they draw pretty well when they're good.
Yeah.
So it's a weird dynamic. Even when the Rays are good, which they've been good for the last 10 years, 15 years, no one comes.
I just want to see a Montreal Rays City Connect jersey. I would totally buy that,
brother.
I would buy that. I would put a Longoria on the back of that and call it a day. Longoria is my favorite Ray of all time. Good dude. I would have so much fun in a Montreal Rays City Connect.
Okay, if you City Connect jersey, okay, number one is Evan Longoria. Fine. Throw it out the window. If I gave you two other choices, or I'm going to give you three choices maybe. Jose Canseco, Wade Boggs, or David Price?
David Price. I don't look at the other guys as Rays. I would probably get
man. Well, Boggs had his 3,000th hit there.
Yeah, I would get a Carl Crawford City Connect.
Carl Crawford. I would get Carl Crawford jersey. I would get claw marks on it, and then I would go have Coco Chris sign it and say, "Thanks for trying to claw my eyes out." Sincerely, Coco Chris.
Yeah, I would have a lot of fun. I mean, it would be so cool. Somebody got to, if any of our fans are, graphic designers, can somebody make a Montreal City Connect Rays jersey? That I want to see. Come on.
Dude, that would be awesome. And again, I am actually really excited for it. And I think that's probably the most likely situation. Or sorry, I think that's the situation that was already kind of proposed, and it's already... that was already in the works. They didn't like it and I understand why they don't like it. Don't split time, because that's just an avenue to get rid of a team. Don't split time. That's like letting them walk halfway out the door and saying, "Oh no, but we want you, but we don't, but we do." I don't like that, because Montreal could really easily go, "Well, hey, come on in and show the crowds," and you take them.
Yeah.
This time it's a totally different situation, and I don't think there's any reason to put any money into the Trop if you're already going to destroy it in a couple of years. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste a penny. Destroy it now, get it all over with, go. I think they're probably going to end up playing one in the spring training facilities, and then go from there.
Yep.
So that's my opinion. But either way, the Rays need to get better to make the playoffs next year, and they're going to be trying to do it in some minor league stadium. But if you want to get better, make sure you visit topvelocitypro.com. Top Velocity Pro, my business, where we can sit there and train athletes, train baseball players, train throwers, anybody from any level, from eight-year-old all the way up to big leaguer, up to even like adult league stuff. Come on by. I've trained them all. I will make you a better athlete without a doubt, and the best player you'll ever be. So make sure you check out topvelocitypro.com. I'm on X, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Send me a message. You'll see my phone number on topvelocitypro.com. If you want to talk, want to send me a message, we can talk on there and talk about who you are and how do we make you better. Even James. I can make James better.
Who are you? I'm the Bionic Man. We have the technology. We can make him better. We can rebuild him. Can we do... Hey, Noah Syndergaard, I'm looking at you. Call Ards. We want you back in the Mets. Get your velocity back.
Let's go. Could you imagine that comeback story? That would be one of the best comeback stories of all time. Speaking of another comeback story, Robert Saleh will need a comeback story after he has gotten fired by the Jets. Oh my God. You asked me who was in a tougher situation, to be a Bengals or to be the Jets. And what I said is it way tougher for the Jets, because the problem was this is the type of situation where people get fired. Am I correct, James?
Yeah, you are correct. I still think the Bengals...
Say that again?
You are correct. That is a situation...
One more time, team. Just hit it for me.
You are an ass.
That is also correct.
But again, like I said, the reason why I said the Bengals were in a tougher situation, because they have a tougher road. They go against harder teams. Right now, if the Jets can get a little fire under their ass, they still have a winnable situation, because nobody in the AFC East is any good.
Who the hell's the fire? Who wears the fire? It's all fire rings.
Well, hopefully the new interim head coach, Jeff Ulbrich, can get the job done. They took away Nathaniel Hackett's role this morning. They said that he will not be calling the plays anymore. The quarterback's coach will now be responsible for making the calls, as will Ulbrich. And I think this is a good sign. And Aaron Rodgers, I know you said that you had nothing to do with his firing, and that may or may not be true. Do I believe it? No. But I guarantee one thing. If Aaron Rodgers really wanted Saleh over there, Woody Johnson would not have gone up against his golden boy and said, "No, Aaron, we don't want Saleh." He would have said, "You want him? You got him."
This is where I actually feel really bad for Robert Saleh. I don't know him. I don't know any of the situation. Like, I'm not like diving. We're not in the locker room, and we're not best friends with Robert Saleh. But I do feel bad for him, because this is what I feel bad about. About 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, Robert Saleh is sitting in an office, probably, with the New York Jets. It's in there like, hey, and somebody walks in and says, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers is available. We got him on the phone. He'll come here. He has some demands. Let's talk about that. We'll talk about what he wants before this, but we can trade for him. We got this. And he was probably so excited. And he was probably like, this is it. This is my chance. We are going to change this entire organization. We're going to the Super Bowl. Holy crap, Aaron Rodgers, man. We've got quarterback problems. Okay, and then everybody gets so excited. And look at you now, got fired by the dude you wanted. Right? And that bothers me. That's where it hurts, is that he was probably so excited for this. So pumped up bringing in Aaron Rodgers. He gets hurt in this first game last year. And then now look at it this year. And you're the one going home versus the guy that you wanted and who wanted you and all that stuff. This relationship obviously melted really early. And it didn't help with Aaron Rodgers being injured last year. But God, it couldn't have been more awkward early in the season. That you're looking at right there, that picture just says it all, where Saleh went in for a hug, Rodgers pushed him away, and then completely lied about it, basically saying, oh, no, he's not a hugger, and our job's not done, and all this stuff. It is a bad situation up and down, when everybody's basically getting all their play calling taken away from them. Nothing. They are throwing a whole bunch of crap against the wall and hoping something sticks.
It's fun. I think the relationship frayed when Saleh kind of threw Aaron Rodgers under the bus with the mandatory OTAs when he's like, well, it's not an excused absence, but we know where he is. So basically he said, oh, guess what? We know where he is. We didn't want him there, but Aaron Rodgers is the big swinging dick in the room and we can't stop him. I think that pissed Aaron Rodgers off and was the beginning of the end for Saleh. I would have never had let him start the season as the head coach, but, they got rid of him. Let's see what happens now with Jeff Ulbrich.
Jeff Ulbrich, good luck. You are on a sinking ship. Good luck, brother.
No, see, he's not on a sinking ship because the ship has to be on the water in order for it to sink. The Jets are never on the water. They're always at the bottom of the trench. Now they just went into a deeper trench. They're a fucking submarine is what they are.
Yes, they are. And they're the Jets. That's what they do. They become the submarine. They go underwater. But, hey, if you guys are enjoying the show, you're enjoying what we're talking about here, and you don't always get an opportunity to see our beautiful faces.
Your beautiful face. My mediocre face.
Facts. So get on to our podcast, basically anywhere you find your podcast. It doesn't matter. Just look for us. And if for some reason wherever that is and we're not on there, message us. We'll get on there. But you'll find the podcast of the show on all major platforms.
Yeah.
So go check it out.
Amazon Music, iTunes, Spotify. Yeah, if you don't have the chance to watch us for 60 minutes or as long as the show goes, download us, listen to us in the car, on the way to work. It'll make you feel better.
Can I say that really soft? Okay, if you don't have the time to look at me, download me, and I'll whisper in your ear seductively about how much James sucks and doesn't know about football or baseball and thinks that Raymond James Stadium is going to have the Rays.
Everybody is now dumber having heard you for the last 10 seconds.
Oh, speaking of dumb, Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James. Oh, Bronny, I get it. I get wanting to play with your son. I mean, that's amazing. That's incredible. But wasted pick, wasted time. Bronny and LeBron, I don't know, make history. I don't even know what you call it. But LeBron James had his opportunity to play with his son. Bronny James, tell me about his debut. What did you think? Do you think Bronny is going to survive in the NBA?
This is an absolute shit show. The fact that LeBron basically said, you're going to draft my son or else, is despicable. Do you remember when Michael Jordan drafted his sons when he was the owner of the Hornets?
Yes.
You remember he drafted Marcus Jordan and Jeffrey Jordan?
Yes.
No, of course not, because it never happened. Well, because Michael Jordan is smart enough to realize that I need horses.
I know there was talk about it, right? There was some conversation about it.
Yeah.
He never actually went through with it, right?
Of
Like
course
he never
not.
did
No.
it. And I'm sitting there like going like, Bronny was so bad. And that's the thing about it. It's like, Bronny had some highlights, some time, some moments, some games, but his normal everyday performance was so bad that no one would ever have considered him. And they were in shock that he had a decent little combine.
Yeah.
It's not even this. Like Anthony Richardson, this is my comparison, like with the Colts. He played out of Florida. He had a less than, I think, like 50% completion. He had the second worst in all of the Power 5 conference of quarterbacks in completion percentage. Everything pointed to a bad quarterback. But he goes out and has like one of the greatest combines of all time. And everybody's talking about how great of a man he is and how great of an athlete he is and all this. So you find a place on your roster, you take him as a quarterback. Hopefully it works. At worst, you figure something out. Athletes will be athletes. Will make it. There was nobody talking about Bronny saying, dude, this is the guy. Like he can make it. Like he's an athlete. He might struggle here, might struggle there, but dude, he's going to make it. I was not an Anthony Richardson fan. I said the Colts do not draft him. This is an absolute waste of a pick. I said it long before the draft, all this. You can go back to my ex and I will own it because I hammered it. Nobody was saying take Bronny. The only people saying take Bronny wanted LeBron on their team. And we even talked about it on the show. There's one way, like you can use some leverage. Draft Bronny, force the Lakers for a trade for more value than the pick was worth. And there were some pretty cool things you could have done with that. And I would have been really interested in that. And that would have been a smart GM move. It was kind of dick at the same time, but smart. But the Lakers take him and they play him, and you're going to see this. The problem is this is not going to go off the way LeBron thought or Bronny thought, and he is not going to go off into the sunset riding on a horse. This is going to be ugly.
What pisses me off is that LeBron James always thinks about his legacy. That's all he cares about. Oh, I've got to be the guy. And how great would it be if I could play with my son and I could say that I played with him and, oh, I'm in the Space Jam 2 because I'm supposed to be the greatest of all time. Dude, stop. Nobody cares about your legacy. Legacy is something that's decided by others, not by you. Let the kid decide what he wants to do. You can't force people into drafting your kid. It's pathetic. Nobody does it. Do you think, when Griffey was signed by the Mariners, did he go into the GM's office and said, guess what? I want to play with my dad. I'm the first overall pick. I've got the big swinging dick. I want you getting Ken Griffey Sr. in here. I highly doubt it.
No, but there are times when obviously from a front office standpoint, you see obvious things. And the Lakers want a LeBron back, which I understand.
Yeah.
No matter how old he is, no matter how much I don't like the man, I think he's actually not a great human being. But I respect his basketball ability. But I do think he's the A-Rod of basketball. Incredible. But always looking over his shoulder and trying to compare himself to others and talking about legacy and wanting to always see what everybody else is doing and doing that.
Yep. And
then that's the one thing I always thought about A-Rod is you just watch them. I remember when I was at the Mariners. We watched A-Rod during the not 4th of July, but during just the national anthem. And he was in the middle of the field doing a sprint when they started the national anthem. We knew the timing, so we're like, oh, he's going to be in the middle of the field. Like, he's got to be an idiot. He's going to get stuck. The visitor teams don't know necessarily the timing. And so he gets stuck, but then he kind of jogged back. Then he stopped again. Then he jogged back, and he's looking like, what do I do? And then he ran back as fast as he could to, like, not just be out there by himself. He had to be with somebody else. That's how I see LeBron is. Always talking about legacy. Always talking about, like, what people perceive him as, where that was the big difference of Kobe and Michael. They never cared about their legacy. They never cared what other people thought, because legacy is determined by everybody else, not you. You do everything you can. I don't feel like he's doing everything he can on the court. I feel like he's doing everything he can to make himself something else. And I do love the idea of playing with your son. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. But don't make that your legacy. Just have that be a part of the game.
Yeah, look, if they signed, here's the bottom line. If they drafted him in the second round and sent him to the G League saying, you know what, we think that Bronny is a prospect. We believe that he can be good, but he's not ready right now. Fine. I'm cool with that. But don't bring him up to the big team just because LeBron is there. It's going to be bad for his development. It's going to be bad for the team. It's just a bad mistake.
He's just bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are good. This show is good. So we are the man. Bronny won't be the man. We are the man. So I want to send a big thank you out there to everybody again. I know I said at the beginning, please hit the like, please hit the comments, and let us know what you're thinking. If we're not on a certain podcast platform, let us know what you're thinking. And James has one more thing to say. What is that, James?
I wanted to mention the passing of our old friend, Luis Tiant.
Oh.
He passed on. I've had the pleasure of talking with Louis many times in the past, not nearly as much as Ards. And Ards, I can't wait to hear your thoughts. I'm pretty sure we were one of his final interviews. We did something with him a few years ago. That man loved to talk. He loved baseball. And it's a big loss to the baseball community. So rest in peace, Louis. We're going to miss you.
Yeah, it's been a hard couple days for the baseball world, hard couple days for myself as well. On top of this, my really good friend whose dog we watched for almost a year, who went off into the Middle East with the army. We watched dog Sassy. He was out walking her last night on a leash, and a car hit her on a leash, and so she passed away. She's part of our family. Lost her there. My next door neighbor 2 days ago passed away. One of our really good friends, very close friends, passed away. And then Louis.
It's not the one that said you broke their foundation with your weights, is it?
No. Those were not the good friends. Those are
the other neighbors.
The other neighbors. She's moving though, so that's a good thing.
That's good.
Very, very good thing. But no, our Alan Elkins, incredible man, absolutely incredible man, passed away the other day. And Luis Tiant, I mean, this is somebody who bled like the Red Sox red. Like he was a Red Sox through and through. His story coming from Cuba was one of the coolest things I had ever heard to hear out of his mouth when I was with Boston, talking about him flying out, everything that was, and then him getting back to Cuba to see his family was absolutely inspiring, absolutely amazing. I love talking. One thing I always love, I saw Jose Contreras about a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever that was with perfect game. These guys that come from Cuba and what they go through to get here. His road was a little easier than some of these other guys. It was very tough though at the same time because he had left family and couldn't see them forever. It's incredible. And he was somebody who loved this game so much, knew what the game had given him, and was never going to take that for granted. And he was going to give back. He gave back so much more than he ever took. That's the thing about him. He gave back so much, and was just so fan. So I don't think he ever took anything from the game. I think what it was, things were given to him by the game, because his love for it, and then he kept giving back and giving back and giving back. He was somebody I had the pleasure when I was with the Red Sox getting to know a little bit, seeing him around the locker room. I would have loved to have seen him pitch in person. Watching video was just absolutely hilarious, and it was so fun to watch, to see his delivery and how he was moving. It was just it was amazing, and he was a great player on top of that. Great Red Sox, great living legend amongst the Red Sox, and ambassador for the Red Sox and for baseball, especially baseball in Cuba and baseball in Latin America. Luis Tiant passed away, and we lost a good one.
What's really funny is about a month and a half ago, I accidentally bid on a Luis Tiant autographed baseball card, and I got it. So I have a Luis Tiant at home.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Those are happy accidents.
Indeed. But Luis Tiant, we're going to miss you. And for all you Red Sox fans out there, sorry for your loss. And if any of Louis' family is watching, we're going to miss El Tiante.
Absolutely. So on that note, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And come on back next time.